The Independent Electoral Commission in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, CNI, announced that the results of the elections held on December 20th, 2023 in that country show that Félix Antoine Tshisekedi was elected to lead the country, which means that he is going to lead it for another term of years 5. It is an election that has not been agreed upon in the country because many of the candidates who were competing have asked that this election be repeated or annulled and another one be prepared that does not involve fraud and theft of votes. Like Martin Fayulu, he is still calling on the people to block the streets and protest against the results of the election, which he shares with Denis Mukwege, Moise Katumbi, and others. This is the request of all of them. But Sini has criticized it and insists that even if there are things that have not been done properly, it does not cancel the fact that the election was held and that the elected candidate is the one who should lead the country. In this story, we return to some of the presidents of the countries of the East African Community, EAC, who expressed their joy in the victory of Tshisekedi, and we look together at what they would do next to this head of the DRC, who is not recognized by a large number of his opponents. For his electoral success, it has become a tradition all over the world that when there is a leader of a country who wins an election, other heads of state join him in celebrating his success and wish him a good job and send him a written message. They often use the X website. For Tshisekedi, this is also the case. But in this story, we are not talking about all the heads of state and international organizations who joined him in celebrating the victory. We are coming back to the special people from the EAC regarding the fact that their countries with the DRC. Often, these messages confirm that the international relations between the two countries are in good condition and show that they are going to continue. Often those who send these messages have decided to take care of themselves mainly because of the relationship that is not in good shape or is going to be strained due to incompatibility with who is elected. The country of DRC as a country in the East African region and which is at war with the M23 rebels and which is a war that these countries do not agree with. The election of Félix Tshisekedi, as a person, in his first term, rejected talking to those rebels, made our analysis of what made the presidents of those countries to celebrate his victory expand. There is no doubt that there are those who are motivated by hypocrisy, others who do it for personal gain, others who follow the saying that in politics there is no permanent enemy, only interests are considered, while others follow the way it is done. Burundi, President Evariste Ndayishimiye was the first to thank Tshisekedi for winning the elections. Through his ex, Ndayishimiye said, "I sincerely thank my friend and brother, H.E. Félix Antoine Tshisekedi, for being re-elected as the leader of the DRC after being declared interim. In the event of an election dispute, I believe that a peaceful solution would be to resolve it through legal channels. With the fact that Burundi these days is living with Tshisekedi, where the latest Loni report shows that the country has sent more than 1,000 soldiers to the DRC to fight the M23 group, it is added that this Ndayishimiye today is looking for an excuse for the problems in his country of Rwanda, as his colleague Tshisekedi did when he took over the Rwandan M23 group, adding that it is known that those soldiers are paid by the DRC a lot of dollars, and it is also said that all of them go into the pockets of President Ndayishimiye and the gang they co-led. The country that shows that Ndayishimiye of Burundi was driven by the desire to keep his wealth intact, so he is the main reason to celebrate Tshisekedi's victory. I'm not happy with the election of any other candidate because I don't believe that he will continue to support the Burundian army to fight in the M23 war. Maybe someone else would be elected who would agree to negotiate with M23 and the war would stop. Tanzania. The president of Tanzania, Samia Suluhu Hassan, is also among those who thanked Tshisekedi for his re-election, like Ndayishimiye. Suluhu also said, through his ex, "I really thank Mr. President Felix Tshisekedi for being re-elected as the President of the Democratic Republic of the Congo. We will continue to work together to develop relations between our countries and the East African community." For Tanzania, it is not easy to know what is in Suluhu's mind, mainly because he is a person who has been silent on all the problems in the DRC. President Samia's message is clear that it is cooperation sought for the development of countries and districts, but the confusion is that he is usually one of those who say that Tshisekedi should talk to M23. It should not be ignored that Tanzania is one of the 3 SADC countries that allowed the DRC to send troops to suppress M23. There are only analysts who say that these will not come, that instead Tanzania will use the usual ones in that country for the MONUSCO mission. Therefore, due to the lack of movement and not speaking much of Tanzania, if someone said that President Suluhu decided to Kubagarira all as if he did not know what tomorrow will be like, he would not be wrong. Kenya, President William Samoei Ruto also thanked Tshisekedi for his victory. His message reads, "I sincerely thank my brother Mr. Felix Tshisekedi, the President of the Democratic Republic of the Congo, for the well-deserved victory. Elections are milestones in the democratic history of your country. I look forward to strengthening the relationship between Kenya and the DRC for the benefit of our countries." If you read this message from Ruto, you will not remember that he was the one who recently attacked the government of Kinshasa when it was sent to Corneille Nangaa and Bertrand Bisimwa, who had held an interview in a hotel in Nairobi and announced the formation of AFC, Alliance Fleuve Congo, with the aim of overthrowing the Tshisekedi regime. Ruto said at the time that they did this because Kenya is a democratic country and therefore does not interfere in the activities of the media. The disagreement on the establishment of the AFC also made Kinshasa summon its ambassador, who was in Kenya at the moment. There is no Congolese ambassador in Kenya. This is added to the fact that Kenya has often asked Chilombo to accept and submit to the talks. Without the M23 group, Kenya also had troops in the EACRF mission that ended without restoring peace in North Kivu after a year, where some Congolese also accused the Kenyan army of they helped M23 in the war and made Wazalendo shoot at the Kenyan bases and kill one soldier. In general, what was known by many people is that the relationship between Kenya and the DRC is not good, so the fact that Ruto thanked Tshisekedi was considered hypocrisy. Uganda, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni was also not given, he said, to the Ugandan travelers and brothers from the Democratic Republic of the Congo. I take this opportunity on behalf of Ugandans to congratulate H.E. Felix Tshisekedi for winning the elections in Congo as announced by the Electoral Commission. H.E. Tshisekedi played a major role in regional efforts by bringing Congo into the East African community and allowing us to work with the Congolese army to destroy the ADF in eastern Congo. We look forward to brotherly cooperation with the people and the Congolese government. For Museveni, what he wrote is clear. He said that what he is going by is what was announced by the Electoral Commission. He also went back to what Uganda and Tshisekedi's DRC have in common in suppressing the ADF group that opposes his regime. That means that what Museveni is looking at is the benefit of Yakeke Uwi Dry. Rwanda has never announced anything about Chilombo's victory. Of course, it would not have done so because he campaigned and said that if he was elected, he would do something to those who voted for him in order to thank them for starting Rwanda's war. Other countries that have commented on Tshisekedi's success are mainly those in the South African community, SADC, such as Zambia, Zimbabwe, South Africa, and various international organizations. The surprising thing about these African countries in this election in the DRC is that none of them has ever complained about the theft mentioned in this election, and it was supported by the candidates who participated while powerful countries like the United States responded. A statement from the U.S. Embassy in Kinshasa reads, "We are aware that many candidates have refused to receive provisional results. However, we reiterate that the only way to challenge the results and demand clarifications should be through legal and peaceful means." It said, "Resorting to violence will not solve the problems or promote democracy in the DRC. We call on the relevant authorities to investigate in a fair and transparent manner all the concerns raised regarding the violation of electoral laws and allegations of fraud and violence."